Welcome to Life Dialogue, conversations with women of color about issues, policies, and research that impact our lives. For Women's History Month, we're going to have a conversation with three millennials. Rachel Chu, who is the editorial assistant at Pearson Education in New York City. Daniela Gonzalez, who is a chapter advancement associate with the National Association of Corporate Directors, and Nidah, who is an assistant program manager with Sheladia Associates. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Okay, so I want to start the conversation with some women that we've seen recently being the news, one being Cardi B, and the other one being Kylie Jenner, because they're both millennials. And so my question is, Kylie Jenner, is she someone that we should think about as a history maker? She's the first person, I think, under 25 to become a billionaire. So what do you think? Is she someone that, I'll start with you, Rachel.
Okay. I think Kylie Jenner, while she's a social media influencer, super popular on Instagram, and the way she makes her money is basically she has a beauty company. She posts a picture of her wearing her lipstick or her eyeshadow, and then that's how she garners, her money. So I think that the way she's like making her money is kind of manipulating people. So it's sort of like not a super great way, and not really something that you would look up to, as like a woman entrepreneur.
Okay, so you're saying no, she's not a history maker. Daniela and Kim, your thoughts?
I mean, I don't think she's brought anything specific to women, and if she has, it's maybe been only to a certain group of women who have the money that she has, who can, indulge in these types of things. But it's not inclusive to all types of women and girls. Not every girl can get up and just start, making a beauty product line. It's not something that everyone can get up and do. She has finances, she has the resources, she comes from that background. And I don't think she's brought anything significant to girls and women.
I think it's great for her that she's been the first to become a young billionaire, but I don't think that she's created anything new, really. She hasn't innovated a new product. She hasn't created a new way of thinking. She hasn't changed the way that we live our daily lives or the way we think. So I find her to be lacking in that area, and I don't think that she's creating a space for others to do the same, for other young women entrepreneurs.
But I wanted to pick up on what you said about she's not creating anything new. So what's the appeal then for her makeup line? I thought that there was something innovative about her makeup line. Is that not true?
To me, it's just makeup, but maybe I'm not young enough.
Okay.
I think the way that she markets it is different because we see everything on Instagram and everything on Snapchat, but it's not really something that appeals to me or really someone of my skin color, because the makeup itself isn't really, is more for those with lighter skin.
Okay, so her line is not inclusive.
I would agree with that, yes.
Oh, okay. I don't wear makeup, so I know minimum about Kylie Jenner's line, but you're saying it's not an inclusive line. I must say I'm a little surprised about that. I would think that with all the conversation about diversity and inclusion, that if you're going to have a makeup line, that it would be a line that would be inclusive of a variety of skin tones. And you're saying that's not the case.
I wouldn't say that's the case.
Do any of you use her makeup?
I don't really know too much about her makeup, and I don't know if she actually has any foundation or skin tone kind of makeup in her line. I think she mostly sells like lipsticks and eyeshadows. So I'm not totally sure about that.
Okay. All right, so then let's have a conversation then about Cardi B, right? First woman to win what, rap album of the year. Do we see her as someone who is a history maker?
Kylie Jenner to Cardi B. Cardi B could be an inspiration for, maybe other Black youth or Black girls who are looking to one day want to rap or one day want to be in the industry. I think that she may, her music does appeal to younger people. I don't think that she's doing anything specific for older, an older generation. I do think that it's more youth that, I think she is empowering youth in some way. Like I've mentioned before, my 12-year-old sister listens to Cardi B. I think she feels empowered by, this is a girl a woman who's like me, and she's out there rapping and like doing all, and my sister is half white, half Black, but she does identify more with her Black identity. And so I think, she does look up to her. And so I do think that she empowers some girls in a way, but I don't know if it's in a, I don't know, constructive is the word, but not in a positive way. But I do think that she does empower a lot of young girls, and specifically young Black girls, for sure.
Yeah, I think because like the rap, a lot of rappers are men usually, and they're usually talking about vulgar things, like how big, the stuff that rappers normally talk about. So it's really great that we have like a female rapper who's able to voice her own personality and everything like that, since the world of—
I think again that it's great that she is renowned as a female rapper. I would like to see her go back to her own community and help others there. I think she always talks about how she's from the Bronx. It's kind of like the first thing that comes out of her mouth when people meet her. She's like, I'm Cardi, I'm from the Bronx. So I'd like to see her go back to the Bronx and kind of create a pipeline of young women who are aspiring singers or aspiring rappers or whatever it might be, and kind of work with them to give them the education or the resources or the tools to do the same thing that she's doing. I know she's done a little bit. She did a coat drive, I saw, but I haven't really seen any big efforts to go back to her own community and build that space for others.
Okay, so you're suggesting that one of the things that I've heard you say twice, both with Cardi and with Kylie, is this notion of going back and creating sort of a way for others to come and be successful. Do they have to be successful in that same space, or just making a way for them to be successful in a space? So any space?
In any space. It doesn't have to be like a specific box or specific hole. Just, hey, here's what I did. Maybe you can apply that to your industry or your career. I think that's part of being an entrepreneur, is applying different skill sets to what you're doing in your own space.
If I ask you to name, and we're going to shoot for 5 things that a woman must do to be history worthy. I'd like for you to tell me what those. We're going to come up with a list of 5 things that you must do in order to be a history maker. And I'll start with you, Daniela. So give me maybe 1 or 2 things that you think a woman must do in order to be a history maker.
My 1 would be the ability to create any sort of paradigm shift. So did you create a new way of thinking in any space, from econ to politics to economics? Did you turn a previous thinking on its head? Did you change the way people lead their daily lives? And then the second one would be any philanthropic or community give back.
Okay, so you need to be a person who's shifting the paradigm, something around thinking, and then we need you to have some philanthropic activity.
I think being a first is very valuable. I don't want to say that, if you weren't the first to do this, you didn't do anything in history, but I think it's very valuable in the sense that it is very empowering, and it is, it is a sense of leadership. Being the first Black woman to win the Grammy, being it is an empowering, it's a role of leadership. And I think if you can if you can take ownership of that role in a positive way, I think you can influence change. Although I don't think that's necessarily you have to, it's a criteria, but I do think it is beneficial. I think it's very beneficial. And then I think I want to echo Daniela about contribution. I think contributing to some communities and making, you have to make a path. You can't, wanting to make history and make change, it can't be just about you. It has to be inclusive and contribute to communities as well.
And that you also think that part of being a history maker, that there's value in being the first person to actually do something, but you've got to do that in a manner that has a leadership component and is making a path for someone else. Okay? And then how about you, Rachel?
Just a person who is inspirational in every way for a young woman to be able to look up to, and just having those qualities of being a leader.
Can you give us an example of somebody who you think is inspirational?
I think everyone's talking about Michelle Obama these days. Malala is another one. She is pioneering education.
How about you, Cam? Who's on your list? Who are you watching as a history?
I think, and this could be because of my own identity, but Michelle Obama for me is someone who, she took this role on as First Lady with poise, with, it was one of those, in the past we've had Hillary Clinton they all have something, the cheating scandal or whatever, or that she lies or whatever. But Michelle Obama, you cannot find anything about her. And I think that she really, she was in this seat with poise. And I think after that, she used her leadership and what she was to encourage young girls all over the nation, and I'm sure the world too. I know she toured around the U.S. and she went international, but I think she's very inspiring for all women.
Someone who's up and coming that I've been watching and I'm eager to see them move forward is Yalitza Aparicio, and she starred in the Oscar-winning movie Roma, and she is one of the first indigenous women to be nominated for an Oscar. And what I like about her is that she knows that she's one of the first, but she said, I want to make sure that I'm not the last. So again, with the pipeline and creating a space for others. So I'm keen on watching her.
So I think it's really hard for me to come up with like one person, because I feel like in this day and age, I feel like it's their era. So everyone has like a list of like people they follow on Instagram or Twitter that they're like, oh, I want to be like that person. So I have like I have a lot of people that I'm thinking about based on like my own interests, like journalism and film and stuff like that.
So give me one.
I guess like Aidy Bryant is like one person who's on my mind right now. Because she's been on a lot of podcasts and stuff, because she has this new TV show called Shrill on Hulu, which is basically, it's pretty much championing women who are fat, and just kind of empowering, just sharing that story and empowering those sort of women. And she's like speaking up about her experiences, and so she's inspiring, and she's a very funny comedian.
For me, I think I would say, and I can't think of the name of the Pakistani woman. She's 21, I think, who fought for women's rights and women's educations in Pakistan during the Taliban. What is her name?
Malala. That's who you.
Yes. Well, I think that she, I don't think she's completely recognized yet, but I do think that she is someone who you will hear in the future. She's a very big activist, and she's working hard to fight for women's education in her country, and I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, thank you. I want to thank my guests, Rachel Chu, Nidah, and Daniela Gonzalez.
You have been watching Wiser Dialogue, The Missing Viewpoint.